and don'ts to take your Instagram marketing to the next level. In this video, discover the 5 worst Instagram tips ever and what to do instead to improve your online presence and grow your audience. Megan and I share a few tips that will help you increase your engagement and more so you won't be wasting your time. So let's get started as we help you avoid these 5 bad ideas and step your gram up on the latest episode of the Social Roundtable. Welcome once again, everybody. We are so glad that you are joining us here. As I stated at the top, we are discussing a few bad ideas that we want you to avoid. Certain strategies and tips that people have been sharing prior, and maybe they've worked before, things have changed, or maybe they never worked, but for whatever reason, the popular belief was just the fact that these things I must do to actually increase my followers, get more engagement, and more. And I'm sure we're going to be naming a few of these that you have seen yourself. I'm so glad to be joined here today by my co-host, incredible Megan. What's going on? You guys know her better as Social Media with Meg. How's everything on your side of the gram?
Hello, hello. Oh, things are going. Ready for another live. We know that there are so many different rumors out there of what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and there's a lot of different voices, right? And lots of different opinions based on so many factors. So I'm really excited to just get all of these out in the open and clear them up so that we can really help you guys step up your gram, like Heston always says, and get those results. I'm excited for today's live. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think we're going to be talking about a lot of things that people have heard before and they've probably been practicing themselves. There's a couple on the list that I know I've done myself, unfortunately. It's just bad advice. And sometimes when you put it out there and you do it and you realize it might be working, there might be a reason why it's doing that. But then ultimately, it's just sometimes just a circumstance of the situation or just other things and playing it as a factor to it. And we got to do better. So Megan and I are going to be sharing with you guys a few of these things that we've experienced ourselves. Once again, guys, you were watching the Social Roundtable. This is our weekly live series on YouTube where every week, generally, we would go online and discuss topics that are interested to you as a marketing director, marketing, digital marketing, content creator, business owner, and more, all in the world of social media. Today, we're focusing more on Instagram, specifically some of the strategies that might be bad advice that we've heard from others. So we'll share our experiences and maybe you might be able to relate, maybe not. We would love to hear from you guys in the live chat. We see a few of you guys are there. But yeah, go ahead, go crazy in the live chat. We'll be responding to a few of you guys' questions as well. And we're gonna have a good episode today as we jump right into our conversation. Before we do, just want to remind you guys this is a live show. So if you're catching us live, please hit the subscribe button and hit that like button as well so that others can be aware of what's going on. They might be able to jump into this live. Or if you're catching a replay, we will still appreciate your support hitting that subscribe and like button. I think that's all that I had to share right now before we get into our conversation. Are you ready to get started, Megan?
I am ready.
Awesome. Well, we're going to not waste any more time. I want to jump right into it. Um, Instagram, for those that might not be aware, Instagram actually launched in 2010. Believe it or not, Megan, it's 15 years old. It's pretty much a teenager at this point. And along that time, there has been so much bad advice, tips, and strategy that's been shared. It's almost impossible to identify it all. And yet, some still remain today as if it's true and valid. So, we want to expose a few of those strategies so you know better. So, join us as we share the 5 worst Instagram tips we've received and what you should do instead as an alternative. We're going to go back and forth. I'm going to let Megan go first and share one of her strategies that she's heard or had, come across in her experience on Instagram. And she'll also share a way that you probably should do better. So, my question, the main question that we're going to be answering today, Megan, is what is some of the bad advice you've come across related to Instagram?
Yes. All right. So here's one that kind of has multiple layers. So I will break it down because I feel like it's kind of a rule that most people know not to do. However, it gets spun in a lot of different ways that then people, I think, start to believe, okay, I shouldn't do it in general, but if I do it this way, then I'm going to be okay. And so, what I'm talking about is the follow unfollow strategy. And it's not even so much about the unfollow. I think the biggest thing people hear as a suggestion for growth or to, beat the algorithm, to have success and engagement on Instagram, is follow a bunch of people in your niche and hope they follow back. Sometimes they'll follow that up with unfollow them. But that, what was that, Huston?
That's just so shameful.
Oh, I know. Or when people, slide into your DMs and they're like, I've been loving your content lately. And then you go to their profile and they're not following you.
Yeah.
Cool. But the whole follow, unfollow, or just following people in hopes of being noticed to be followed back. I think, again, most people know that follow, unfollow is kind of outdated. Most people don't suggest to do that anymore. But the caveat is, I still hear a lot of people say, hey, just go out and follow a bunch of people in your niche, engage with them, make sure that you're showing up with their profile. And yes, it is very important to connect yourself with other people, other leaders within your niche, other leaders who speak about things that you care about. But that's the thing. It has to be with people that you actually care about their content. You agree, or maybe you have, good dialogue. Maybe you don't always agree, but you can have constructive conversations within their content. People you can connect with that you actually would follow, even if it wasn't a benefit to you, right? So making sure you're following people for the right reasons.
Yes, that is. I'm still surprised that this is a strategy that people suggest. I have seen a few people practice it. Even that same exact technique that you mentioned, where people will say they'll go into the DM and say, "Oh, I've been following you. I'm loving your content." I know I'm gonna get one probably by the end of today. I get them almost every other day, and I think most people still get these types of DMs where it's almost like in the hopes that they would follow you. Or I don't know if you know about this other one, Megan. They'll like 10 of your posts immediately and then send you the DM. It's like to show that they've been active on your profile. So for whatever reason, you owe them a follow. And I just don't agree with that method at all. It's I feel like it's one of the oldest strategies that was on Instagram back in the day when we didn't have a lot of these other aspects that we could utilize to help grow our following. But it's
Hmm.
something that still continues to be a problem, and we should know better. If you know better, do better, as they sometimes often say.
Yes, yes, yes. So with that, it's very important. Like I said, there's lots of layers there. It's following people, yes, but with intention of, you actually care about their content, not just, oh, they're, someone who has a large following. And if I follow them, maybe they'll follow me back. And if I engage with their content, maybe I'll get like, we have got to get out of that like needy energy and go back to the giving and connection energy.
Yes, we need more of that, especially nowadays, the way Instagram and just everything is just going on in the world, even outside of Instagram. We need a little bit more of that. I think that's a great first tip to get started with. Just for a little behind the scenes, guys, for those of you guys watching, Megan and I do not share our notes beforehand. So sometimes we often share the same thing. Sometimes it's a little bit different. And it just so happens that mine is it's on the same level of what Megan just shared, but I'm going to extract it a little bit and even go a little bit further back. The strategy that I want to share, or concept more likely, is just the idea of ignoring your current community for the sake of chasing after new followers. And I think it's really, really an issue, particularly on Instagram, because, and I feel like Instagram kind of created this problem themselves because they put that big number right on our profile page. You see it immediately when you go to anybody's profile page, how many followers they have. So we put such a high value on this number. And I feel like more and more nowadays, Megan, that follower total doesn't matter as much as it used to, especially back in the day when Instagram had certain things that, you had to reach 10,000 followers to get the scroll up on Instagram stories, or you had to reach 1,000 followers. Well, now they put 1,000 followers on IG Live, which they moved backwards. And I feel like that was a big mistake.
Agreed.
But followers, I feel like the idea of having followers nowadays doesn't matter as much, especially when the algorithm, and believe it or not, is actually working. It's getting our content to the right people that we want to see our content. And for whatever reason, the way that our audience now works on Instagram, they don't necessarily have to hit the follow button to see your content.
Mhm.
Honestly, even if they hit the follow button, it's not a guarantee that they're going to see your content. We all kind of know how that works. It's just the demand and supply problem that exists on Instagram. But yet we are continually reminded to say, oh, you need to go viral. You need to focus on Reels because Reels is a content type that'll only be shown to new people, not your current audience. And I feel like we put so much high value on those type of strategies and those techniques that we often forget about all of the previous audience that we've already attained.
Mm,
If you're like, let's just say you have 1,000 followers already, we need to start putting more attention sometimes on those 1,000 followers that we've already acquired rather than chasing the next 1,000 followers. Yes, they say in business, it's always cheaper to engage with those that you already have than to go out and find new followers. And if you do that, you might actually find that that goal of a certain income that you want to make, you might already have the audience that you need for it already exists in the following. So I want to say let's kind of get away from this whole concept of just focusing on new followers and ignoring our current community. What do you think about that, Megan? Is that something that you practice yourself as well?
I love that because you're right. It's so easy for us to get caught up in the next 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000 followers. And the more followers you get, the harder it is to stay connected with your current audience because the way the algorithm does work, it can be very difficult to keep track of everything. And when you're on Instagram, because you're getting shown so many different pieces of content, it can be difficult to really nurture the people who really care for you and have been there. So I totally agree with that. And what you said, same with it when it comes to business. You're going to get more bang for your buck here if you can
Yeah.
really appreciate what you already have. Um, and those people are going to be your biggest advocates. So if you can show up for those people and you can really provide the value, connect with them when they're out with their friends, it's not always on social media, but when they're out with friends, family, and they're talking about the topic that maybe you share content around, they're going to refer you. They're going to say, "Oh, I follow this account, Heston. He is the expert at Manychat. I know you just started using Manychat in your business, and it's you've got to follow him. His tips are, I doubled my responses since following. They do the
Mhm.
marketing for you, okay? So making sure that you care about the people you already have so that they do the heavy lifting.
That's a great way to put it, and I completely agree with that. So, with this being said, this strategy or concept, I should say, that we should kind of get away from, don't focus too much on the new followers. I do want to share a way that people can consider to re-engage their current followers that they already have. And one of the ways that I would suggest to do that is ManyChat, sorry, not ManyChat, Instagram has this feature where you could go in and look at the followers and they have it segmented where you can find the least engaged of your followers.
Mm,
Those are the people that you haven't spoken to in the DMs for a long time. They haven't commented on your post often, and you guys haven't had an exchange back and forth. You're going to find some names that are probably familiar, but you realize you haven't had that one on one interaction with. Go ahead and go on that list and just go down the list and re-engage with them. Go on their page, leave a comment or two, genuine comments, please. Leave a comment or two on their latest post. Go into their IG story because people love to share their IG stories and get comments about it, messages on it. Go ahead and do that. Or if you want to strike that one-on-one message directly, go right into the DMs and send them a message. Kind of reintroduce yourself or say, you want to kind of re-engage and reestablish the communication that you probably once had, or maybe you've never had before. That might be an
yeah.
idea that you might want to do that would be very quick. And what ends up happening is those people that were on the list, they quickly get off of the list. Now they're more engaged with you, and Instagram sends you more people that might be the least like. So you could continue this. If you want to do like maybe 5 a day, that means that you're probably going to hit about 35, 5 a day. That's 35 people a week. If you do it at that rate, that's over 100 people a month that you've now re engaged with if you continue that routine. So something as simple as that, if you'd like.
Yeah, I like that. I love that you shared, breaking it down into doable numbers, like 5 a day. And I'm curious to know from everyone in the audience, have you ever done anything like this where you actually go into your current following and kind of do a check-in with yourself in order to do the check-in with them? Like, are you actively connecting with the people who are already there? If you're seeing somebody pop up in your comments over and over and over, and they're showing you all the love, they're responding to your stories, are you doing the work to show them that appreciation and give back to them? Let us know. Thumbs up if you've done this, thought about this, gone through those, or thumbs down if you gotta get back and do that. Because I personally have gone through phases, right? Be honest. Sometimes life gets busy, things are going on, you're on Instagram just to post right now, right? Like, you can barely do that. And so we go through phases. Have you done that, or do you need to do that?
Yeah, well, you know for a fact that I'm definitely doing that right now because I won't go too much into the details once again, but I shared this last week. I'm actually going through my followers. I finished now, Megan, so I'm actually done with the
Ooh,
list.
okay.
I went through all 10,000 plus of my followers manually and reviewed which ones were active, which ones are inactive, which ones I could re-engage. I even went through, Meg, I don't know if I told you this, I even noticed which ones are currently using ManyChat because that's what I specialize in. So now that I've actually built a freebie for ManyChat, I already have an audience that's following me already, but they're not connected with me. We haven't spoken. Now I could go through this list that I segmented and say, hey, what's going on? I haven't spoken to you in a long time. By the way, I noticed you use ManyChat. Here's a freebie that I think you might be interested in. Our audience has so much value. It's just that we're so focused sometimes on looking on outside. Everybody says you need to go viral. There's just so many people that we see going viral as well. You don't need more and more followers because there's no limit. Like the book says, you only need about 1,000 super fans, and you could create a very strong and established business. So that's
Yeah.
something that I've been doing, and I will be sharing more details about all of that in the next month. I'm still planning that content.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so true. And I mean, I want to kind of play devil's advocate there, just to say that I agree you don't need more followers, but it's also like, sometimes I feel like people feel guilty or like, oh, it's shameful. Like, I don't care if I have followers. Like, totally fine if you want more
Yeah,
followers, but it's making sure that you can keep up with the connections, right? That's going to matter more than anything. So 1,000 super fans,
yeah.
way more important than 100,000 people who just, oh, yeah, I'll follow this person.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you acquiring more followers shows that you have a healthy business, a healthy Instagram account. Because
Mm.
at the same time, you can have just 1,000 followers, and maybe they are supporting you very, very well finance wise. But if you're not
Mhm.
growing, that kind of shows that you might have a weak business as well. So I'm just saying, don't focus entirely
Yes.
on the followers, which is something that I see so much. I'm sure if somebody was to go on Instagram right now and scroll past 10 posts, one of them would be saying, this is how you go viral. I'm
Yep. Yeah.
positive of that.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Mhm.
All right. Well,
Mm.
we just finished our two of them. I didn't see any comments. Did you see anything on your side, Megan, in regards
I
to your
have
question?
1 thumbs up. Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Well, I'm glad to see that people are actually practicing that. We want more people to be social. It is social media. We want people to be social and focus on those people that they already have in their audience, their community.
Yes.
Well, we just finished our first two. We have three more tips and strategies to share with you guys. Bad advice and some ways you can actually be changing it up as well. So, what I want to do, guys, is kind of remind you guys, as we're pretty much near the half of our conversation, remind you guys if you guys are interested in actually following our account here on YouTube, you could do that very easily by going on to our YouTube page or where you're watching right now and hit the links at the bottom of the screen. If you're able to do that, you'll be able to find my page as well as Megan's on YouTube, our YouTube channel, as well as our Instagram channel also. And you could go there and follow our respective communities so that you could actually go ahead and get more information from us from our previous videos that we've done on the Social Roundtable, as well as future upcoming episodes. We do this every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, and that would be a great thing if you're able to join us every Monday with brand new guests. Today we don't have a guest. We decided it's just us two, but usually we have one of your favorite content creators or business owners join us in our conversation, and we want you to join in also. So if you want to do and take part in that, please go ahead, tap in the links below, and join our respective communities. We're going to move over now to the third strategy. I believe it's your turn now, Megan, correct?
Yes, yes. Okay. Well, my second one was actually kind of what you touched on when I was talking about my first one, and I see it's pretty similar. So I'm going to go to my alternative. But my second one was to not just spam people with engagement in hopes of being noticed. So like you said, going in and liking a bunch of, especially now, like you won't even be noticed because Instagram like groups all the likes. It would say like so and so liked your, whatever. It just doesn't. You don't get notices the same in notifications anymore. But yeah, spamming, no need there. So alternative one here. So you guys really get like six, right? Six tips of what you should not follow. So my second one is going to be focused around engagement pods and engagement boost style posts. So what I mean by that is, so I just started an account for my dog, my new puppy, and I don't see these style posts too often in my niche, like social media content creation, but in the world of dogs, oh my, this type of post, it's like a picture of a
Really?
dog and it's like numbers 1 through 5. Let's grow together. And it has steps like follow this account, comment your dog's name or comment your name, and like whoever you follow, and then go follow, like they have to follow you back. Like if you want to
Wow.
play this game, you've got to follow back. And it is, I mean, they're everywhere. And of course, I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh, yeah, this is a fast way to get followers. I almost did it. I had to catch myself. I was like, Meg, you would never do this in your in your actual business page. Why would you do this? It's like, I want my dog to grow. But I didn't do it. But you can see how tempting it would be, right? Because you can see this post that has
Mhm.
1,000 comments under it. So you're like, there's a possibility of me getting a good chunk of followers if I'm engaging with their comments. And this might work. You might get a boost in followers. But I'm telling you, if that person didn't take the time to actually consume your content, they know that they care about it. They're not going to continue to engage with your content, which is not going to help you get shown to new people. It's not going to help your overall algorithm, and it's going to actually harm you in the long run. So stop with the engagement pods and engagement style posts.
First off, I can't believe in 2025 this is talking about engagement
I
pods.
know.
It's
I know.
and the fact that you said it's such a problem with that particular niche is now making me think that there's so many other ones out there that is probably as big as also.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know obviously from the social media niche that that's frowned upon. It doesn't really does it does exactly as you said. We're not getting true valuable followers. Those are the people that might follow for a day or two to look at our content and then they ghost pretty much after that. And I
Mm-hmm.
would prefer to have you not follow me than to follow and to ghost because now you're counted as a follower, but you're not engaging, so it affects my numbers, my metrics. So just don't follow me. I'd rather that. Let the algorithm feed you my content if that is the case. If you're really interested in that aspect,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's crazy that, particularly for dogs that you're talking about, that they're trying to grow their account in that manner. And I could see that with other niches as well. I mean, obviously you could go completely opposite side and say maybe with cat pages they do that. But then are they doing that with like kid models? Like it
Oh
could
yeah.
get kind of scary if you even go that route. Like, hey, be a follower to my friends, like to my kid's account who's trying to get into modeling and I'll follow you back. That's
Oh yeah.
wow.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, I do see this on TikTok a lot, actually. I see
Really?
even maybe not people who are like the experts in social media world, but they have a lot of followers already, or maybe they're starting to talk about content creation. Like it's a little bit different there. It's more welcome of
Hmm.
the engagement style on TikTok, and it's really not as frowned upon. Um, so
Oh,
interesting. I don't know. I definitely, it feels cringy on Instagram though.
interesting. Interesting how it's not as bad on a different platform. Different rules
Mm.
apply to the different followers and audiences that you have on the respective platform. That's really interesting. Yeah, so don't do that, guys.
Don't do that.
Let's get away from engagement pods. That's not what we want to practice here at all. But yeah, it's funny that we were talking about this whole following thing because obviously people want more followers. You know, they want that number to grow, but there are other more important things that you can look at. In regards to followers, my next one kind of relates to that a little bit because people have been using this newish feature on Instagram to get seen, and it's been working so much so that Instagram has now put limits on it.
Yes. Oh,
So
I think I know what you're
I'm
gonna
talking
say.
about Instagram trial reels.
Yes.
Instagram trial reels have been like a godsend feature to most people, the way that they've been using it. And I have to admit, I wasn't too fond of reels initially. I liked the main purpose of it. They've created trial reels really for A&B testing. That was the purpose behind trial reels. It's pretty much in the name. It's a trial. But obviously, when you give something to a group of people, they figure out certain other ways that you could utilize it. And we kind of figured out that these trial reels that are, for those that don't know, they are reels that go specifically to non-followers. So regular reels generally they do go to non-followers, but it still goes to a decent amount of your followers as well, and people can engage with it. Trial reels goes to pretty much 100% non-followers. So everybody who sees your trial reel is not currently following you. And this opens up so many opportunities in regards to what you can do and how you can speak to the people now that you know they're not your followers. So what's been going on is the fact that there was no limit to the amount of trial reels you could post. And I don't know about you, Megan. I have seen people in our niche. I'm talking about people that have six-figure following that are supposed to be social media gurus, and they're telling people post as many trial reels as you can a day. I've
Yep.
seen one person actually go on YouTube attempting to post 100 trial reels a day. I say attempt because the person never got far. Instagram cut them off and blocked them from being able to do that. And then a few weeks later, I started to hear that Instagram was putting in limitations where it was like 20 at a certain point. Now, I believe the limit is five. I think you could do
Mm.
five trial reels a day, which is significantly lower than what you could do prior. But people were using these trial reels to get in front of brand new viewers and try to make them followers. So much so, Megan. And I'm not gonna lie, I do like this strategy, but it is a little bit cringy. Where they would create a trial reel and it would literally start off and say, "I know you don't follow me,
Mhm.
but please rate my work." And then they'll tell the person to go to their page. And I'm like, it's interesting because you're introducing yourself, but it's almost, I don't know, it's on the verge of being cringe because it's like you're immediately using the fact that you know I'm not following you to your benefit. And then you're telling me something to do, despite the fact that I
Mm.
might not be interested in your content. So it kind of comes off a weird way. I feel like there might be better ways to use trial rails that maybe people haven't explored just yet or I haven't seen.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
these new limitations on trial rails, the five a day, and now they are also stating you cannot post the same trial reel without any changes, which a lot of people were doing.
Mhm.
And I've seen it. It's become a problem in the music section when you're looking for trending audio.
Yes, yes,
If
yes.
you go to the trending audio page and you're like, oh, this sounds good. Let me see how many people use it. It's like 10 videos, all the same, but the same person, and it's exactly the same. And I'm like, this is a problem. You've
Yeah.
seen that before too, huh?
Oh, yeah, it made me not enjoy, like, even looking at the audio anymore because I was, when I do my research, I go and look and see how other people are using it, for suggestions to help, my audience and to kinda study the trend a little bit better because there's always, like, alternative ways people do it,
Yeah.
and it really made it not fun to go to that page, and I was like, "Cool,
Yeah.
they're all the same," and I kinda actually did like that I could go see if that person, tried that attempt and then this is going to sound bad, but I was like, if they didn't get a lot, I'm like, see, you shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have done that. You should be more
Yeah.
authentic with your content.
Yeah, it's a problem, and I still see it out there, but it's just not as much as it was before when trial rules first came out. And I think the limitations have been working, but I'm not
Mhm.
saying you shouldn't use trial reels. What I would suggest is you probably use trial reels for its actual intent.
Yes.
If you happen to have a reel that you've used before and it worked very well with your followers, feel free to use that same reel again, and you could use it maybe 2 or 3 times, but definitely change some aspects of it. Whether you want to cut off maybe the first second or two, cut off the last 2 seconds, change the text that is being shown on the screen. You want to make sure that there is an actual difference in the video that you're sharing, so that when the algorithm sees it, it doesn't flag it as, oh, it's the exact same as this other one that he shared, probably even the same day. So
Mm.
feel free to use trial reels, make them different, make them unique, and study them so you can figure out how to improve your next reel that might not be a trial reel.
Yes, yes, yes. That's the new update that they announced of not being able to share the same one. I am interested to see what level of change needs to be made for it to actually be recognized as different.
Yeah.
And they didn't say that yet, right? Like when he announced that, Adam Masori really just said, make sure it's a change. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Like what level? So yeah, interested to see for that. Mhm.
Well, that's our fourth strategy and tip that, we went from bad advice um, to hopefully something, an alternative that you guys can move forward with and improve your own analytics in regards to engagement, growing your followers, and more. But there's one more on the list that we are going to talk about now, and it's one that we both agree with. So it's coming from both of us, myself and Megan. Before we get to the last one, just a quick reminder to you guys: if you have not done it yet, please hit the like button if you're getting any value, any insight from our conversation here today, all about the bad Instagram advice that we've heard and how we can actually do better. And if you're not following just yet or subscribed, please hit the subscribe button on our channel so you can become a part of our community and you won't miss any of our future episodes of the Social Roundtable you are watching here right now today with myself and my incredible co-host Megan. We're going to get into our last one right now. Megan, how about you introduce this one and we'll kind of go back and forth in regards to things we've learned about it because it is somewhat new. It's a strategy that we've heard about for a long time, but things might be changing because of some news.
Yes. Okay. Definitely. So this strategy that was going around, I'd say probably like a year now, almost a year,
Yeah.
if that, where people were saying, in order to get more views on your stories, post one story a day and let that like 24-hour period go by before you post that next one story, and it's going to help dramatically increase your views. And the thing was, this actually was true. This was working really well. And I'm surprised I actually never shared that as a tip because, yes, I recognize it on my stuff. But there, maybe it's because I had this like gut feeling of we shouldn't be limiting or like doing more of something just because it's a hack. And in reality, if we had more value to share, I didn't want people to not share what they want to share.
Mm.
Yeah.
I could see that. And I felt like a lot of people that I know that do very well with IG stories felt the same way and they continued to share as many stories as they want. And
Mhm.
it worked out well for them. I'm assuming I didn't see their metrics. I'm not gonna lie, Megan, I was not one of them. I shared one IG story a day. Because of this, I've tested it. I love to test. I tested it and it was absolutely true. The moment I would post two or more stories in a 24-hour period, my reach was cut down almost in half every time. It'd be very, very rare that my second IG story would do nearly as well as the first. And it would only do well if the first one was a real big hit. Usually, if I got a lot of engagement on the first one, people were leaving messages, they were triggering the automation, something like that. It had to be like something that really out the blue. But I did this and I want to say honestly for more than a year, Megan, because I feel like that problem has been around for such a long time. And it worked. Some days I would get my average numbers. Some days I'd get like 8, 10 times my average number. And it was like, wow. Matter of fact,
Wow.
I think I got that last week. Last week I got about 7 times my average IG story number.
Huh.
But it just so happens that last week on Friday, Adam Mosseri actually put out a post. And now I don't know how you guys feel sometimes when Adam Mosseri shows up on the screen. You never know what you're going to get with Adam Mosseri. You know, it might be a great brand new feature, or it might be something like, who is asking for this? But Adam Mosseri got on, and the first thing he said in the reel was, we fixed the problem. And I was like, okay, what is he talking about? And he went on and spoke a little bit more. I'll actually put the reel here. You won't be able to hear anything, but he went on and spoke about the problem that existed for years that I don't think he's ever truly acknowledged that there was a problem. He always said that he was aware of it, but he never acknowledged that it was a problem. And he said that they fixed the problem. He didn't go into details on how they fixed it. And I just want to say too, I noticed he posted this on Friday. It's got more engagement than his pinned reel. So I think a lot of people are happy about this engagement, about this
Oh.
new update. So this is him here talking about the brand new problem that they fixed. That now, when you post multiple IG stories, it would not have that problem of significantly cutting your views. So you could post two, you could post four, you could post 10, and it should perform as expected. Now, I don't know what the problem was in regards to why it was causing this major bug as far as I'm concerned, because you would think Instagram would want more people to post on IG stories, but this bug was so effective that I know a lot more people only posted one or maybe even two, and they stopped at that. It was
Mhm.
very understanding why people did that. Like I said, I did it myself for about a year and I saw its use. It was very helpful when I posted one. But with this news, I actually tested it out on Saturday, Megan. I posted, I want to say about 5 or 6. Each one was about 3 or 4 hours apart. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying these numbers blew up. They weren't, I'm not writing home about, hey, I'm popular on Instagram stories again, but they were significantly better than what I would have posted just a week prior. Significantly better. And it has shown me that what he said is true. They have fixed whatever this problem was. My my first post, I want to say, let's just say if it was 100, my last post out of 6 posts was about 80, 70 or 80. So it got about 70% of what my first post got, which prior to that, it would have been more like 100 to maybe 10, which was
Yeah.
really bad. So I am glad that they've made a fix, and it is now something I'm working on in regards to my content strategy on how I'm going to move forward. Um, with this news now, Megan, are you going to change up your strategy a little bit? Do you have anything in mind that you might be considering doing now that IG stories are fixed?
Um, well, so I think that this whole like what would we call it? The reason okay, what was it's like a glitch. There was an issue. This whole issue
Yeah.
with stories and why we had higher views. I don't think I intentionally said, "Oh, only post one every day." There definitely were days like when I knew it was an important post or whatever, then I like made sure that that was the story of the day. Um, but I do think maybe subconsciously it might have changed the way I show up on stories. Like I used to get on stories and I posted 5 to 10 stories probably a day, and I loved stories. I love talking on stories. I almost feel like how do I even do this? And I've been doing this for like 8 years now, right? Like I am not scared in front of the camera. I don't care like what people think about me on the camera. There's no really reason why I wouldn't show up. But I think maybe subconsciously it might have stopped me from having a longer chain of stories. So hopefully this can help bring
Hmm.
back that's okay if your story goes a little bit longer and not restrict me. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that it does that for more people too, but it opens up their creativity, opens up the opportunity for them to want to share more, because this definitely stopped a lot of people, and myself was included. I stopped a lot. The only time I noticed that I would share more posts was on the weekends.
Mhm.
Maybe if I'm having like a full day of family events or something, or maybe even like all of the photos from the week, I would put them all on the weekend, because on the weekend I put them on Saturday, Sunday I would take a break and kind of restart the whole strategy again. One post per day within 24 hours. But I'm definitely more accepting of this and planning out my strategy. I might do two a day. You never know. I know I got to slow down, right?
Watch
I'm
out.
moving a little bit too fast here. But in all seriousness, like I'm now feel more comfortable in sharing. It might be like maybe one every 4 hours, and I feel like that was what was told of us back in the day. You don't want to put all IG stories at once in whatever
Mhm.
part of the day. You want to spread it out. So I'm
Mhm.
going to start testing it more. I might do like next week. I might do like every other day, like four every hour. See how that works out, and maybe report back to you guys on the next episode of the Social Roundtable how the experiment did. But I'm glad to hear this news, and I'm really glad that IG stories are working as they should be. I hope that
Yeah.
you guys are interested in posting more to your IG stories as well with this news, because you guys may have been affected to only want to post one.
Mhm.
But this now opens the door to posting more.
Yeah, because stories really are meant to be that like behind the scenes, kind of going through your day with you, the
Yeah.
odds, the ends, the funny, the different aspects of you and your brand, and not just that like very niched piece of content. And when it was one a day that people were doing, I think it really restricted people because it had to be that perfect one, that very
Yeah.
purposeful. And yes, it's great to have purpose behind your stories. We're not just sharing everything, but it kind of took away from the purpose of a story. I didn't enjoy going through stories as much because it was probably more promotional than connecting.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Definitely see that. Well said. Well, those are the 5 pieces of information that we had to share with you guys. The 5 worst Instagram tips ever, as well as new ways on how to do things better instead. We want you guys to be sharing more stories. So, go out there, share more stories. And some of the other things that we said also during our conversation, like not focusing too much on followers and engaging the right way. These are all things that we feel like now in 2025, we're near the end of the year. Some of these things, I'm still surprised, these bad pieces of advice and strategies, I'm surprised they're still lasting. I'm hoping we don't have to have an episode like this again in 2026 and speaking about the same exact topics. Hopefully, I would prefer to talk about new ones that we need to get rid of rather than the same ones. But
Agreed.
we'll see how things work out. Instagram might actually put new features into place that might slow down and force some of these strategies to be non-existent after a while. We never know what's going on with Instagram. We have about 4 months left in the year, 3.5, I should say. Who's to say what we might come off this live now and there's a brand new feature that might affect everything we just spoke about. But nonetheless, we want you guys to take all of the information that we just shared here just now and move forward, step in the right way, and step in the right way on Instagram so that you guys can move forward in the best way possible. Um, Usually, we have a guest here, Megan, and we play a little game. We don't have a guest here today, so there's no game that we're going to play. But we will reserve our questions for the next time that we have a guest. We do have a guest next week. I'm going to keep that quiet until next week. Or maybe we might share it early in our broadcast channel. That's one of the links below, also in the description. If you want to join our broadcast channel, go ahead and check that out. But we do have a guest next week, and we'll have another brand new topic that you guys are going to be very highly interested to learn more about. Um, so, with that being said, I think we should kind of end off our episode here. But I want to give Megan an opportunity so she can share where you guys can find her and what is she up to that you might get involved in.
Definitely. Well, you guys know if you've been here before on Social Roundtable, come to Instagram, find me there, find me here on YouTube. We have all of our replays listed here on both mine and Heston's channel. If you want to catch up on all of the fun we've had here on the Social Roundtable, and slide in my DMs. I'll be posting more stories, which reminds me, I didn't have time this morning to post a story. I need to post one. How about you,
It's okay. You
Heston?
could you could post a couple. You could post a couple. It won't affect you.
That's right. That's right. Get ready. And how about you, Hassan? I
Yes,
know
that's
you've been
God for that.
busy.
I'm always busy on something. I that project I told you I was working on in regards to going through all of my followers. I am now done. So I have it on an Excel, or I shouldn't say Excel, Google Sheets. So I've been going through creating the calculations myself, but honestly, I've been holding myself back yet before I put it into Google. I'm not Google, Chat GPT, because I can't wait to see what it will say and figure out when I put in that type of data. So I'm geeking out about that and the information that's going to give me. I can't wait to share with you guys, because I'm going to come out with an entire series for the month of October and give you guys information in regards to what you can extract from your own audience from what my data has been given to me. One of the facts I share with you, Megan, is the fact that almost 50% are inactive. And when I say inactive, I think I accounted it for those that have not posted within the last year or so. So, and I broke that all down. I know how many people posted their last post was in 2016, 2022, and things like that. And it's interesting when you see the data, because obviously certain big things happened between 2019 and 2021, and you can see the numbers change. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to get that out there. In the meantime, I do have my Manychat Skool available for you guys as well. That link is also in the description if you're interested to join that. There's an opportunity to learn more about Manychat and its full potential, so you can start utilizing DM automation in a much smarter way so that you can work smarter and not harder. Well, that is all that we have here for today, guys. We are so glad that you guys were able to join us today, and we look forward to your presence next week at the same time, Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at our respective YouTube channels. Once again, find those links in the description, and we will see you guys later. Until
Uh,
next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.